2026 wasn't a good year for anime, it was a war. 8 shows dropped fresh and completed their first season fully in the same calendar year. No mid-arc cutoffs, no waiting on a weekly release schedule. Right now, every single one of these is sitting there, fully caught up, ready to binge start to finish. That means every single entry on this list is fully bingeable. Right now, no gaps, no filler core waiting to happen. You start episode 1 today, you can hit the finale tonight. This is the list for people who are tired of waiting weekly for peak fiction to build. These 8 anime ones already delivered fully. Right now, no waiting required. We're counting up, building the stakes, because the top of this list isn't just good, it's the 2 shows carrying 2026's entire identity on their back. Let's start.
This one looks like a storybook. Soft line work, painterly panels, gorgeous character design. Do not let that fool you. Hat Atelier runs on one brutal rule. Magic isn't a gift, it's a system, and every single spell has a price written directly onto the world itself. Forbidden magic doesn't just get you punished, it erases you. Permanently. Turned to stone, wiped from existence, gone. That's the tension driving the entire show. A world of apprentice witches navigating a magic system that is actively trying to kill them for curiosity. It's not shown in chaos, it's controlled cinematic dread. And when the finale hits, all that quiet, careful world building detonates into one of the most visually stunning payoffs of the year. High art, high stakes, fully earned. It's the perfect opener for this list because it proves 2026 wasn't just about power, it was about cost. A modern engineer dies, wakes up as a prince in a dark medieval world, and instead of learning swordplay, she starts an industrial revolution. That's the hook. But don't mistake this for a comfy isekai. Release That Witch weaponizes gunpowder, steam power, and mass production against kingdoms that are still fighting with swords and superstition. The witches everyone fears aren't monsters, they're the tech. Watching this MC out-engineer entire armies, turn magic users into an industrial workforce, and flip medieval warfare on its head using pure 21st century logic? That's a different kind of god tier. Brains over brute force every single time. Add in real military strategy and supernatural warfare stacked on top, and you've got a show that mows down the competition without a single sword swing from the main character. Criminally underrated entry into the isekai genre. Next anime for a reason it's slept on. Half human, half chimpanzee, dropped straight into a terrorism plot he never asked to be part of. The Darwin Incident is not a standard shonen, and it never pretends to be. This is psychological sci-fi with the pacing of a thriller. Every episode tightens the noose. No breathing room, no filler arcs, just relentless tension building toward a genuinely disturbing question. What actually separates human from animal when society decides you don't count as either? The protagonist isn't fighting for power, he's fighting to be recognized as a person. That's the adrenaline here. Psychological, not physical. Every scene feels like it's one wrong move from collapsing into disaster. It's the kind of show that gets under your skin and stays there. A force of nature in a completely different lane than everything else on this list.
見事や。ほんまに見事や。ほいでどないして私の膝を着地させんねや。
わしには龍門辺境将軍の膝を着地させることはできません。
このままでは君の功績は無になるが、ええのか？
もちろんです。
合格。で、名は？
ミスミ、青テルです。
No magic, no energy blasts, no system powers. Just post-apocalyptic Japan torn apart by civil war and pure cold strategy. Nepon San Goku throws out every fantasy crutch and forces its factions to win through positioning, deception, and command decisions. Every battle here is a chess match with human lives as the pieces. If you've been craving high IQ combat over flashy power scaling, this is your show. What makes it hit so hard is the stakes feel real. There's no protagonist plot armor saving anyone through a last-second power-up. Strategy wins or people die. That's it. It's total war storytelling at its most disciplined, and honestly, one of the most slept-on shows of the entire year.
Gabu. Gabu. Gabu, gabu. Gabu.
From the mind behind Full Metal Alchemist, the show that basically defined a generation of political supernatural war story, comes 2026's true successor to that throne. Demons of the Shadow Realm builds a completely fresh world with zero baggage, no prior knowledge required, just a deep, layered conspiracy where supernatural power and political warfare are two sides of the exact same weapon. This is a show engineered for tension. Every alliance feels temporary. Every character with power is also a political liability. The demons aren't just monsters to fight, they're leverage, currency, and threat all wrapped into one. It's methodical, it's dense, and when it commits to a set piece, it goes all in. Genuinely one of the most well-constructed supernatural war stories in recent memory. Next anime is God-tier world building, God-tier payoff. Death row inmates, forced into combat, fighting on behalf of a corrupt theocracy that sees them as disposable from day one. Sentenced to be a hero doesn't romanticize its cast. These are criminals, killers, and outcasts thrown into battle with zero illusions about their worth to the system running them. The stakes are brutally simple. Fight and maybe survive, or refuse and definitely die. That desperation bleeds into every fight scene. Nobody here is holding back because nobody has anything left to lose. The choreography reflects that. Messy, vicious, and completely committed. This isn't clean shonen combat. It's survival with a body count. And the animation backing it up is some of the most explosive work all year. Full force, high impact, no corners cut. Morally gray, gritty, unapologetic. Forget the death game trope where the protagonist is looking for meaning, friendship, some grand revelation about humanity. Yuki isn't here for any of that. She's here for a paycheck. Cold, calculated, dead-eyed. Death games to her are just the job, and she treats every kill and every gamble with the same detached efficiency of someone clocking into a shift. That's what makes Shebo Yugi hit so different. It strips out the sentimentality other death game shows lean on and replaces it with something colder and honestly more terrifying. This is the corporate grinder version of the genre. Dark, cynical, brutally fast-paced. No wasted motion in the writing or the animation. Yuki mows down opponents not with rage, not with passion, but with the same energy as someone finishing a spreadsheet. That contrast is what makes her one of the most disrespected in the rankings characters of the year. She should be everywhere. She isn't. Yet.
Next anime, absolutely broken, criminally underrated, and built completely different from everything else on this list.
早いね。身体強化の魔術かな。
俺のじゃないけどね。
剣闘も習っていたのかい。それでこの動き、ランサーのクラスとして少し本気でいくよ。
よろし。
And at the top, the show that needed zero homework, zero prior franchise knowledge, and still delivered the single most chaotic Holy Grail war ever put to screen. Fate Strange Fake throws out the rulebook the mainline Fate series built for over a decade. This isn't a controlled ritual with clear-cut rules. It's a lawless, isolated battle royale set in the US, where every single servant is playing a completely different game with completely different rules, and nobody agrees on what winning even looks like. That's what makes this the definitive peak of 2026. Every encounter feels genuinely unpredictable because the entire structure of the war is broken from the inside. You've got servants scheming, betraying, and overpowering each other with feats that shouldn't even be comparable, and the show makes it work through sheer confidence in its own chaos. No watch 3 seasons first, no franchise fatigue. Just an isolated, self-contained, high-octane war where anything goes and everyone's fighting on their own broken terms. Fate Strange Fake isn't just number 1 on this list. It's the show that defines what pure adrenaline meant in 2026.
この剣こそは奇跡を追い求めた栄光への一筋、その意志を仰ぐ真偽の結晶である。決して何者にも阻まれぬ果てへ至る。今ひとたび刻むその剣エクスカリバー。